What were the silent saboteurs lurking within America's own borders? In the dimly lit corridors of FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., a clandestine operation was being orchestrated that would ripple through the fabric of American society. Known as COINTELPRO, short for Counterintelligence Program, these covert operations were initiated on August 28, 1956, under the direction of J. Edgar Hoover, the powerful and often controversial FBI director. The program was designed to surveil, infiltrate, discredit, and disrupt domestic political organizations deemed subversive, including civil rights groups and leftist movements. The seeds of COINTELPRO were sown in an era characterized by intense Cold War paranoia. Hoover, who had a personal vendetta against communism and any form of dissent, saw these groups as potential threats to national security. To him, the civil rights movement, with prominent figures such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., represented a dangerous shift towards leftist ideologies. Thus, COINTELPRO's operations were not just intelligence-gathering missions, they were calculated attempts to undermine the very core of these movements. One of the most notorious operations targeted the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, and its leader, Dr. King. The FBI's vendetta against Dr. King was fierce and deeply personal. It began in earnest in October 1963, when Hoover, alarmed by King's growing influence, penned a directive approving covert action against him. By 1964, the FBI had begun wiretapping King's home and offices, collecting volumes of information intended to tarnish his reputation. In a chilling maneuver on November 21, 1964, the FBI mailed an anonymous letter to Dr. King, which later became known as the suicide letter. The letter, coupled with surveillance tapes, threatened to expose his private life, unless he took his own life. The letter was an emblematic example of how COINTELPRO sought to destroy leaders who dared to advocate for equality and justice. As the 1960s progressed, COINTELPRO expanded its reach to other prominent groups. The Black Panther Party, founded in October 1966 in Oakland, California, became another prime target. The Panthers, led by figures such as Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, advocated for African American empowerment and self-defense. Their rise to prominence and their community programs, such as free breakfast initiatives, were viewed by the FBI as potential catalysts for revolutionary activity. The FBI under COINTELPRO used a variety of tactics to destabilize the Black Panthers. One infamous strategy was the dissemination of false media stories and forged documents designed to create internal mistrust and incite violence between the Panthers and other organizations. On December 4, 1969, the covert campaign took a deadly turn. A pre-dawn raid by the Chicago police, with information likely supplied by the FBI, resulted in the assassination of Fred Hampton, a charismatic young leader of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. This event was stark evidence of the lengths to which COINTELPRO would go to neutralize perceived threats. The breadth of COINTELPRO's reach was vast, affecting not just African American movements but also feminist groups, socialist organizations, and even student activism, such as the Students for a Democratic Society, SDS. The program's impact was widespread, effectively sowing seeds of distrust within and among these movements, weakening their ability to coordinate and sustain momentum. COINTELPRO remained hidden from public view until March 8, 1971, when a group of activists calling themselves the Citizens Commission to Investigate the FBI broke into an FBI field office in Media, Pennsylvania. They unearthed and released thousands of documents that exposed the COINTELPRO operations, shocking the nation and sparking a wave of outrage over the government's infringement on civil liberties. The fallout from this exposure led to a series of congressional inquiries, most notably the Church Committee in 1975, which delved into the FBI's domestic spying activities. The revelations forced significant changes within the intelligence community, including the creation of greater oversight mechanisms intended to prevent abuses of power. Today, the COINTELPRO era is remembered as a dark chapter in American history, where the very institutions sworn to protect the nation's liberties operated in stark opposition to them. The program serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between national security and civil liberties, a balance that must be vigilantly maintained to preserve the core principles of democracy. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.